need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
Some of Hermes products are made in China. Power are from Fuer in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
It was my first time shopping at Hermes, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Made in Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real creative when it comes to
Hermes is officially in a panic. Everyone. The whole fashion industry is being rocked by the luxury giant's lawsuit against the same Chinese producers who recently revealed their billion-dollar secret. These factories produce more than simply imitations. In fact, they were the ones who constructed the bags. For $20,000, the same Birks and Callies are incredible. And now they're revealing to the world the true story behind these French-made brands. It's not what you think, to put it mildly. Insider receipts and dubious production techniques. This controversy is shattering the facade of wealth and viral TikToks. Hermes is also frantically trying to halt the bleeding. However, the harm has already been done, and the truth is already public. So everyone, let's get started. Let's begin with the falsehood that set everything in motion. Hermes has promoted the idea of handcrafted bags made by Parisian workshops and French artisans for many years. Do you imagine someone wearing a white coat sewing leather by candlelight while listening to mellow jazz music? False.
The finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make.
Christine's receipts and insiders claim that up to 80% of these supposedly French luxury bags are actually manufactured in China, made rather than deconstructed. The leatherwork, sewing, threading, and cutting are all completed abroad. After adding a button or stamp in France, Hermes transforms the product into one that is created in France. The trick is that, therefore, Hermes lost when the Chinese factory began to be honest and show receipts.
Hermes has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in.
Comes luxury whistleblower Tanner Leatherstein. He's no ordinary TikTok user, has a cult following as a leather expert. Infamous for purchasing high-end purses and then opening them live on camera to reveal their contents. He was the first to point out that Chanel was using cheap leather with a plastic coating instead of real gold hardware. He targeted Hermes, Veneta, Bega, and Louis Vuitton. Tanner also demonstrated that these bags' leather quality is no better than that of a $100 fake. Additionally, he revealed that the true cost of making a Birkin bag is only $600, not $14,000 or $38,000. Good leather and metal hardware are also part of that.
spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those.
Imagine our confusion as we watch all of this happen. As we witness videos become viral and realize that the gig is over and the truth is out. Because Chinese producers weren't only producing fakes. They were also producing the genuine product for Hermes and then claiming credit for it. They disclosed that China handles 80% of the job. In France, only the finishing touches are made, and Hermes hides the actual work while profiting from the perception of French luxury.
Almost finished bags from China factories, back to their own factories, and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
His job then. Do they acknowledge it? Say sorry? Obviously not. bake it to bring legal action against them. Hermes is bringing defamation and intellectual property infringement lawsuits against many Chinese factories. How dare you tell people our bags don't actually come from France, is the gist. Here's the worst part though. Luxury labels had contracts with these same Chinese manufacturers. They were making bags legitimately. However, Hermès are behaving as though they don't know them now that they've spoken up. As if they had just woken up and discovered these factories. However, let's do the computation. In 2024, Hermes generated $15.2 billion in sales. Millions of bags were sold. And where is this unidentified group of French workers producing each Birkin by hand if it takes 2 days to manufacture one? The figures don't add up. It is delivering false information. Hermes is not by himself either. It's the same as being done by other labels such as Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Prada, in order to lawfully place a Made in Italy tag on the product. They will manufacture 98% of the product in China and then have a button or zipper created in Italy. Due to the grandeur associated with European labels, customers have been falling for this marketing ploy, which is a scam.
This is the Chinese supplier behind product. Bags are from Siton Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
Resale values are beginning to decline as more and more people become aware of the truth. People are becoming aware that a bag created in the same facility as a $400 scam costs $25,000. Towners now reveals that these bags, which purport to be filled with calfskin, are actually made of inexpensive poo-coated leather. Buyers are upset and collectors are getting anxious because if Hermes isn't truly about craftsmanship or quality, then what precisely did they pay for? The illusion of the brand, everyone. Western luxury companies have deceived us into believing that low quality is synonymous with China. However, that is out of date. World-class leather items are now produced in Chinese factories. They possess resources, the abilities as well as the machinery. Actually, a lot of luxury firms use the same factories as knockoffs and mid-range brands to create their goods. They just labeled the final product with different tags, that's all. Therefore, just because a bag is made in China doesn't necessarily indicate it's garbage. It might even be superior to whatever was produced in France. However, there are several accounts of consumers receiving factory extras that are identical to the $1,000 bags, but lack logos. One creator claimed to have $5 UGG boots that came from the same factory as the authentic ones, but without a label. The sole distinction is
in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the coolest.
People have been conditioned by Western media to associate Europe with high class and China with bad. When you look closely though, it's all marketing. Its companies are owned by private equity firms who sell expensive things to consumers who are just ignorant. Additionally, customers are starting to wake up. The industry is in a frenzy. Tanner Leatherstein is not employed by any company. He's not trying to sell you something expensive. He is dissecting everything, demonstrating his work, and describing the materials. In order to demonstrate what you're truly getting, he basically tore open his own $1,800 wallet collection. And what he discovered was constant disappointment. But for a moment, let's be honest. Without celebrities showing off these designer labels like trophies, they wouldn't be where they are today. Do you believe they were purchasing Chanel and Birkins for amusement? No. The majority of them are compensated or given gifts to wear. These bags, we refer to it as strategic placement. Cardi B received a $60,000 purse from the brand. And after she shared it on Instagram, all influencers and aspiring fashionistas are vying for one. You believe you are purchasing luxury, but in reality, You are purchasing celebrity endorsements.
Drawing on your $60,000 Birkin, am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did.
Let's not forget Kylie Jenner's post about Amazing Minds. But how many of those were actually purchased using their own money? Even if they were they manufactured in a back room in Shenzhen or in France? And, it's not just celebrities anymore. The grunt work is also being done by influencers. Unboxing videos of luxury purchases abound on TikTok and Instagram. The majority are either PR drops or brand collaborations. These designers are producing racks, marketing bags they did not purchase, and advancing the idea that having a designer bag is a prerequisite for success because you saw it on your FYP. The brands are making a fortune by selling $600 bags for $26,000. Let's talk about the Birkin trap. Though, owning a burqa evolved into the ultimate prestige symbol at some point. Here's the worst part though. No one can simply purchase one from Hermès. It's not possible to simply stroll in and take it off the shelf. Before they even give you the opportunity to possibly get one, you must establish a buying history, which means spending thousands on belts and scarves. That isn't considered a luxury. That is a cult of luxury, and people are waiting in line to participate.
Buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be Hermes customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand, and then you can only buy one per year.
Not to be overlooked is the second-hand market. Birkin bags were being sold like real estate a few years ago. However, since Tanner's exposure of the manufacturing leaks, prices have been rapidly declining. Why would anyone still pay full price if the bags are manufactured in the same factories as fakes? The exclusivity is phony, and the craftsmanship is dubious. People are afraid. Investors and resellers are perspiring when they realize that these opulent bags may not be as lucrative as they previously were.
I've been speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etain, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etain is the color, and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's SUES stamp, which means it's a...
Here's something even more outrageous. Despite tagging the genuine companies, many celebrities and influencers are actually dupes. Why? To remain in the game of trends without breaking the bank, that is. Because of the illusion, some insiders even assert that stylists will purchase fakes, tag labels for clouds, and receive invitations to Fashion Week. Yes, everyone, the illusion, not authenticity. It's rewarded by this.
A fake Louis Vuitton fanny pack and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag is fake.
Therefore, don't assume that your favorite celebrity cares about or is actually associated with a luxury brand. It's not the bag that sells, but the branding.
Your mom is real. She don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a... This shit was $23 on Amazon.
Who is actually winning here then? The brands continue to make money. The celebrities continue to receive checks. Influencers continue to receive invitations to events and PR packages. Who do you know is losing? You. Then, client, it's you who's paying a month's rent for a label that was made in China, based on publicity that celebrities created without even paying for it. Therefore, consider whether you are purchasing quality or merely an illusion. But everyone, this is where things become even more crazy. Hermès isn't simply running in a panic. Shuttered doors, no longer. They are waging a full-scale legal battle against them. Indeed, a number of Chinese producers who revealed the brand are now apparently being sued by the brand. Furthermore, these lawsuits are not isolated incidents. Hermes is allegedly slapping several factories that dared to speak up with accusations of intellectual property infringement and slander. But let's face it, getting caught is what really enrages them. Furthermore, they couldn't have been at a worse moment. Since the United States imposed those harsh tariffs on Chinese goods, international brands have been compelled to extend their hand. And you know what? One of the companies that could be most negatively impacted is Hermes. Do you have a serious issue when the majority of your purportedly French craftsmanship is sourced from manufacturers in Shenzhen? This entire expose exposed a far larger problem. Quality is no longer the only factor in luxury brands. They have to do with illusion and perception. And the empire begins to fall apart when that illusion begins to falter. And Hermès isn't merely attempting to maintain its appearance. They are battling for their lives. If information regarding the actual manufacturing location of these bags continues to circulate, people will begin to doubt everything. Even Chanel, Prada, Louis Vuitton, and Hermes. And luxury loses all significance at that horrifying point. When French-made items lose their glitz, Hermes is now scurrying. They are accusing, suing, and trying to shut down the factories that reveal them. However, a genie is out of the bottle. Therefore, it might be too late. Internet users also never forget. Will you still spend $20,000 for a bag name in the same building where your Amazon box is displayed, now that you know the truth? Or are you? Will you degate it? Listen, if you're currently eyeing your favorite luxury brand, click the like button. For more fashion drama, subscribe and leave a comment. Do you believe that celebrities who promote expensive goods should be held responsible? And do high-end brands still provide value for the money? If a Hermes tag stated made in China, would you still purchase one? The rabbit hole is deep. And I promise you that the following video will be as untidy and in-depth